All right, so moving on now, let's talk about two films that I actually had the luck of watching on the same day, actually, before meeting up, with you online. This would be The Father. This is a 2020 film, actually, but why I checked it out, though, is that currently it is nominated for six Academy Awards.
Right.
That would be Best Actor for Anthony Hopkins. Yes, he's in this. Best
Right.
Supporting Actress, Olivia Colman. Best Adapted Screenplay.
I don't know if she was
Editing.
this, yeah.
I actually forgot to. That's why, to be honest. Production design, which I will try to make a mental note to mention, and Best Picture. Yeah, this is that Best Picture contender here, man. And I will say right off the bat is a really strong one at that, though. So basically, it is the debut feature from a playwright, a French novelist and playwright named Florian Zeller, right? And this is actually a play that he made years ago, actually, and it was probably one of the most well received plays, when it was released, it got a lot of like 5-star reviews and all that kind of stuff, right? But I went into this like completely blind. I didn't even know it was based off of a play till like when the film actually started and you saw the credits roll, right? But yeah, this is his feature. It's based off of his work, actually. Actually, it's from 2012. It's called Le Père, so I assume that's French for the father, right? And come to think of it, they actually make like this reference, if you will, to France, right? But I'll mention it a bit. It's not really a spoiler, but this I'll mention. It stars Anthony Hopkins, as I said before, right? And basically, he is just this withered old man, right? He is living in his flat. His daughter, Anne, who's played by Olivia Colman, comes by ever so often to take care of him.
Yeah.
But where it starts off basically is like him, like her more or less berating him because someone was hired to take care of him and he got mad at her, right? But from early on, what we realize is that he is suffering from dementia.
Yeah.
So yeah, the film itself plays with the idea of memory loss to a very effective degree, right? So there will be instances where Anne will tell him something, right? So case in point, she says how she can't stay with him for long because she has to leave with her new boyfriend, actually, because she was divorced recently, and they're gonna go to Paris.
Yeah.
And Anthony's like, well, why are you going there? They don't even speak English, right? And that's just this thing that he keeps saying, right? It's not meant to be crass or anything like that. It's just this dumb joke that he says, right?
Right.
But he tends to take it seriously at times, like, why are you going, right? But then later on, now you would actually see Anne come back in, and then he will mention, where did you go? I thought you were going to step out. I thought, weren't you going to go to Paris or something like that? And she will say,
Right.
well, no, I never said that. You know what I mean? And then there will be this thing where you would see what we assume is her ex-husband, and what we also assume as her current husband. I want to say this too is that the film brilliantly frames the other two male characters in this actors in this film, because like literally there are only like 6 people in this movie.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a small casters, right?
Yeah.
But the two supporting male leads are Rufus Sewell, who I haven't seen in ages. Yeah, he in this. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Dark City, okay,
Dark
what?
City, yeah,
You okay, what?
A hot minute.
A hot minute, I know. And Mark Gatiss, who last time I saw him was in Dracula, he was in Sherlock, he was in Doctor Who. He plays
Right.
in Sherlock he was the Moriarty character, right? He's just that asshole character, right? And yeah, in it he is that little snarky guy as well too. But in a sense, like, yeah, you don't know me, you still don't know who I am or what I'm doing and all that kind of stuff. And then they also play this thing in terms of where he actually is, because like he would wake up now and it's like, well, this is my flat and I'm not gonna leave this flat. But then Mark Gatiss' character will come in and say, no, this is actually my flat. I'm living here with Anne, you know what I mean? And you just stayed for a while. And it's just how the movie just brilliantly does that, right? But as a whole, because I don't want to dive in too deep into the actual story, it just kind of puts you in his perspective now. I just seen events play out literally inside of, well, mostly I should say, inside of an apartment, right? In a flat, right? And yeah, you know what I mean? Well, I would just say, just to kick off the review, in terms of production design, it's, very effective what they do here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bottle film like, say, a Malcolm and Marie, but they
Right.
do a similar thing where, they're just utilizing a lot of interiors, right? And it was even to the point where I was watching this, I was like, wait, but this is the same apartment. So how this guy saying it's his own, but when it's actually Anthony's own and all that kind of
Right.
stuff
Right.
now,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
But
Right.
then they'll come and tell you, no, it's actually somebody else's. Then when you look close, like, oh yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? So, but it's not just in terms of where the character says they are that makes the production design work. Is the lighting, the cinematography for this
Right.
as well. You know what I mean? There's a lot of use of shadow. There's actually a lot of the use of the color blue in it. Which, I mean, if you want to dive in deep, rebirth, birth, death, all that kind of stuff, it's there, right? But it works very, very well. Too. There's some really great lighting choices and moments in this film, right? I thought that the editing was solid as well too. In terms of just because it's not like it just jumps from D to D, right? But just how you know it cuts from certain scenes and whatnot. Though I thought really worked as well. But the sell of all this though is Anthony Hopkins' performance, and yeah, after watching this, I'm like, yeah, you have you. I am. Yeah, it was he had to get an Oscar nomination for this too because
Yeah.
he
Right.
was just goddamn amazing in this too, and you really do feel it for this guy. Like at first, because okay, so like after the fact, I realized that the play itself is a black comedy, right?
Yeah.
And the show itself isn't going for melodrama, right? But it has a few melodramatic moments here or there, right? But it's never played to the sense that you're supposed to laugh at this guy, like, ha ha ha, is that funny? He doesn't even know who's his daughter's name and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
forgot
it's
to mention too, in terms of daughter, there's also another daughter who is involved called Lucy, right? Played by Imogen Poots. Yeah, she's in this as well, right?
right. Okay. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And they play this thing where it's like, well, it's actually not the daughter, but it's a new caretaker that's hired to take care of him. But he swears that she looks so much like a daughter now, you know what I mean? And that just brings up these not so much dark memories, but just something in both Anthony's and Anne's past that they just didn't want to bring up, basically, right?
Right.
And
Right.
it's really really sad, but it's just how he really thinks it's her, right? But yeah, Anthony nails it though. He gets the mannerisms down. You really do buy into the fact that he is this old guy who is just slowly losing his mind though. And just the mere fact that Anthony is old, you know what I mean? Which I'll bring up near the end, before I get to Mariton. Yeah, just makes it even like just tragic to watch though. But I really love that the show does not play things for laughs, right? Like at first, like, oh yeah, silly old man who doesn't know where he is, haha, okay. But later on, you realize just how sad it is, though, and it's even more tragic when yeah, you kind of project either yourself or your family onto it because it's not
Yeah.
just oh this is a random thing that could happen to one out of four people or whatever it is, like yeah, this is something that has happened to people, and who knows, it could happen to me or you or people that we close to, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just seeing him and just him trying to deal with it though is just it's rough to watch too. I also like too that they don't paint him as this victim, like, oh Lord, please help me, right? He does step out of line a few times. He does see things that, damage people and all that kind of stuff, but it's not to the point like, oh, I really meant to do that to you. It's just, well, that's how I felt, and I
Yeah.
that's just how I feel, right? Yeah, but it's especially in terms of Ando, you know what I mean? Like she really feels it. Speaking of Ando, I thought that Olivia Colman was great in this thread. She also got a nomination for best supporting actress. And like I'm not saying that she shouldn't win though. Like I loved her in what was the show that we enjoyed by The Favorite, which she actually
Yeah. The
won
favorite.
for best actress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, like it's more subdued though. Like it just it's basically just her playing the daughter who is just trying her damnedest to do what's right for her for dad and just to be
Yeah.
there for him. But at the same time as like she can't do this all the time. She has to move on with her life, and that's where this thing brings comes up now with her husband, who is actually Rufus's character and not so much Mark, right? And yeah, well, in terms of Rufus's character, no, he's the one who comes up more like the asshole than anybody else, because he's like, yeah, well, you see, she's trying, but you're just being a pain, like, why we
Right.
can't just go, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. That like he just run out of patience, and then you just really slowly see how that affects Anne as well, right? Um, what else? Yeah, I thought that in terms of just the staging, the blocking, just how actors were moving about in the scenes worked as well, right?
Right.
Especially in terms of just this confined space. So yeah, you're there with everybody else. You're there like kind of wondering, is Anne real? You know what I mean? Are these characters? Well, okay, so the one constant is Anthony, right? He's the
Right.
constant, but you're wondering if everything else around him, even right down to the apartment that he's in, you know, what I mean, is a real thing on that. I thought
Right.
that
Right.
it did that very, very, very well. It's also nominated for best adapted screenplay. I mean, it is the man play, yes. So I mean, if it wins, it wins. But I don't know. I think it's really cool that you could actually write a play or write a book, and then say, you know what, I think I gotta make a film out of it, though. I mean, it's
Yeah.
my shit.
Exactly.
So hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
that's a writer's dream come true. I don't know if it's the same for you, Ricardo, but I mean, why not? And
Yeah.
yeah, and just to round things up in terms of in terms of, well, before I get to reiterate, but it's where the story progresses though that really really got me though, because I was just thinking that because I was hoping that there wasn't going to be this gimmicky thing like, say, a Memento, like with Guy Pearce
Right.
now, where it's
Right.
just,
Right. Right. Right.
oh well, we're trying to figure out what's going on, and it's just this mystery. But no, it's just seeing how
I
this
was
guy is
thinking.
dealing with life now.
Yeah, I was thinking it would have been something in the same vein as a Charlie Kaufman type thing. You're not sure. Time going, but you're not sure is that happening to you. Like, oh, so like the key New York was playing itself out.
Yes, yes,
I
and
was thinking.
go on,
I was
go on.
thinking something like that.
Yeah, well, it's actually a great thing to bring that up because, yeah, I was picking up on a bit of Kaufman vibes of this as well too.
Right.
Even right down to the where it was he saw. I'm thinking of ending things. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just that whole how it just kind of plays with time and the perception of it, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Exactly.
It does that as well. But I would say, because I remember it was this show and it was Black Bear which did that same thing, and both I left very indifferent to. But this one though, this
Right.
one really, really, really clicked to it, and it's just because of how, yeah, really at its heart, how simple it is and how relatable it is. Not saying that you have to, suffer from it to understand it, right? But you probably have heard instances of people going through it, and like that. But what this show does very well, also, is that it's not like some sort of big dramatized fabrication of how the writer assumes dementia plays out. It's
Right.
just, oh well, if you
Doesn't
really
matter.
think about it, this is kind of how it is, right?
Right. So it's played well. That's the thing with it. Dementia is one of those things that just it's very matter of fact because it's one of those things that, well, it's a person that because a lot of people like to play it as if, well, I completely lose my memory. It's more like just a general forgetfulness, but to the point of the uselessness. So it's like you're dealing with a person who you know as an adult, but they are effectively a child, right? In terms of like
Exactly.
understanding the world, perceiving the world, because once memory started to break down, that's it. There's no anchor point now. If you understand that, I think that is basically what I think was going on with this as it is now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is, it is. Yeah. So don't go into this expecting this to be some gimmicky kind of thing like, well, dementia doesn't really work like that, you know what I mean?
Right,
Or how you know how this thing works, right? It feels very, 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 very plausible, as if, yeah, literally it could happen to you or somebody else that you know, right?
right,
So
yeah,
there's a couple things before we get to read it, right? One of which is just a minor spoiler, right? But while I was watching this too, I was feeling it. I was feeling emotion and everything like that. But I didn't get that gut punch moment though. Well, actually, I should say for some people, you'll get numerous gut punches though. But I didn't get that one though that really had me like, oof. You know what
yeah.
I mean? And then the ending come by. And I won't lie though. And then bring on the man tears out of it. Though. I was just
Very
like,
good. Yeah,
God, Jed, like, God. And it
yeah,
just came out though because of how vulnerable this man becomes at the end, Dread. It's just so heartbreaking to see, Dread. And I was like, yeah, don't want this thing get a Best Picture nomination. Where like that was just such a brilliant scene, and it's so simple as well.
Right.
So brilliant. But the minor spoilers, want to say before I get to rating, right? Is a certain reveal, Dre, because all throughout the show they never really say who Auntie Hopkins' character's name is, right?
Right.
And then they tell you what it is, right? And all I will say is you probably understand what I mean by the time I finish the my point, right? With Auntie Hopkins being as old as he is, right? If this is to be his final film, Dred,
Yeah.
I bet you, like, if you look back at this and you that reveal hits you, boy, you'll feel even sadder than you will after watching that entire film. It just hit
Alright.
on such a well. I mean, it's coincidence. That's all I'll say, right? But just when you hear it, it was just like, ooh.
Yeah.
It just cuts that much deeper. Do you know what I mean? Not seeing I want anything bad happen to Anthony. Not seeing that I want him to stop making films or retire and all that. Though, but like I say, if this is his last film, boy, many people will watch this boy and be like, yeah, boy, I can't watch this. This is too much for me. It's just too much feet down, too much gut punches. I mean,
No.
it's like that, right? But yeah, I don't want to spoil it beyond that. But as a whole, though, boy, I kind of love this. Way. I did not expect to enjoy this as much as I did. I didn't expect this to hit me as deep as it did, especially when that reveal hit. Boy, I was just like, wow, boy. But the joy and the sadness out of the film itself is just seeing Anthony Hopkins just do his thing, like just proving that at his age,
Yeah.
he's still just one of the greatest actors that ever lived, and yeah, this is another example of that, man. I mean, if there's one reason to watch this show, it's that performance. Though, as far as it winning any Oscars, though, it's unfortunate though this thing with Chadwick Boseman though because yeah
Right.
I would have loved to see Anthony win this thread, but
Okay.
we know what's gonna happen with Best Actor. We know.
Well,
Seeing him
I,
with
I mean,
Best Picture. We know.
I point not necessarily, but yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. But at least if I get one award, even if it's just editing or adapted screenplay or even supporting actress, just something, because this is one that like people really do need to see. I really want it to be acknowledged. You know what I mean? Yes, it won numerous awards before, but I want this one to be acknowledged in the for the on the night of nights. You know what I mean? The Academy Awards, right? But yeah, for me, rating wise, I'm gonna give this a decent to a strong 4.5 out of 5. Man, this
Right.
is one of the best shows I have seen. Well, one of the best 2020 shows I've seen in 2021. You know what I mean? I wish that I saw it when it came out, last year, Dread. This would have been on my top 10 or even top 5 for sure.
Right.
Last thing I just want to say though, how I even knew of this film in the first place was through, well, I know you're not a fan of Chris Stuckman, but he, like last year when he put out his best movies list, he
Okay.
actually had this as number one.
Okay. Okay.
And I was surprised, like, how, what I mean, out of all these shows that we managed to see in 2020 and somewhat enjoyed, how come you picked this one? And he just mentioned his personal story with one of his relatives who went through the same thing. So,
Right.
it just hit him deeply, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I totally understand why this would be number one for you, man. But yeah, this is a great film though. This is another win for Anthony Hopkins. Um, I would have loved if he actually won an award, but you know how things gonna play out with Chadwick. Sorry,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, this is one that you should definitely not miss, man. So yeah,
I
Ricardo, strongly recommend you check this out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This was on my periphery for a hot minute. Um. Well, I wasn't. I just never get around to seeing it, so it's like okay. Since you see it and you recommend it, I'll take the time to check it in. Well,
Yeah, and
right.
and I'm really glad that it got all these, well, basically 6 nominations. I'm really glad it got the best picture as well too, because I think more people now will check it out. Like, oh, what's this show? I mean, I saw Nomadland, I saw Minari, Promising Young Woman already, but what's this The Father show? And yeah, I have a feeling that more people will really check it out because of that particular nomination though. But yeah, I mean, nomination or no nomination, it's a great movie. Don't miss it.
Right.
Speaking of movies not to miss, uh, well, a show that I literally watched an hour before meet up with you. This would be Tina. This is
Okay.
a documentary film that literally came out yesterday. Times recording on HBO, right? And yeah, it's a documentary on the life and career of Tina Turner herself, who actually shows up in the film as well. I believe it's a 2019 or 2020. I think it's a 2019 interview that she's given like exclusively for the film itself. Now, her and her husband actually show up. Well, actually appear periodically. Sorry, to just fill in certain blanks. And what it is just, yeah, just the life and her career basically, right? I was surprised to see Angela Bassett, who you would know played her in
Yeah.
the 993
That is
biopic What's
that is
Love
one
Got to
thing
Do
you
with It.
remember. That is one thing you remember about
You know, no,
that
but
movie was just so disturbing and scarring.
boy, I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in a bit. I'll talk. Matter of fact, let me talk about it now, Trent.
Yeah,
So
fucking
my
up.
my 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 history with Tina Turner, right? So grew up, while I was growing up, I was a kid, hearing a song, Simply the Best, Private Dancer,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. You heard them in the radio, right? But it was just like, okay, like when you're young, it's like, okay, there's all right, Tina Turner, African American singer, Queen of Rock, all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then What's Love Got to Do with It came out back
Yeah.
in '93,
Fuck this.
Trent. And of course, like, both of us, we were too young to see the show, right? Because I remember when it was out in theaters, right? I don't know if it was the same with you, Ricardo, but I remember when that movie dropped on TV6, Trend. I think it was like on a Saturday or Sunday night, and I sat down watching this thing, like,
Yeah,
okay, let's see what the show have to offer.
I saw it on VHS.
Okay.
So
Well,
right,
lucky you saw it on Censored, basically, right?
right,
Okay.
right. And I was like, I was so goddamn disturbed by that whole ordeal. I was like, hold on,
Boy,
this man not getting arrested or whatever. It's like my brain like naive now.
yeah,
And I can't believe the movie like that was a thing, Dread. Like probably the movie still a little over exaggerated as it was, but still
yeah.
though, what the fuck, Dread?
I know, boy. And it's funny that it's Lawrence Fishburne who plays Ike
Yeah,
Turner, right? Because if you remember, both of them starred in Boyhood 2 years before, 2 years before as a husband. Well, sorry, they were separated basically, right? But yeah, this it was just the two of them together though. But it's like Lawrence just played this despicable guy, Jen, and I just always have memories of just the way how he was treating Angela's character. I just like I don't know, like at a moment, Jen, for like a hot moment. I was hated on Lawrence Fishburne, because of
listen,
that movie,
the man played that too good, Dread. He
He
played
played
that
that
shit
way
way
too
too
good,
good, way too
And of
good.
course, well, I mean, Angela was great as teenager, but I just always forget just how much of a scumbag Lawrence was in that film, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, no, yeah. I said the make Ike look so terrible in that. It was like, yeah, Ike was that terrible.
He
Sorry to say.
was, but yeah. And that's the
Ike
thing.
was,
That's another funny thing too, because you tend to think with those shows, right? Because I mean, like when you're young, you know what I mean, you would see like a based on a true life, sorry, based on a true story film about like domestic violence, all that kind of thing. And you
exactly.
think, oh, it's kind of exaggerated because it's for TV or it's for film now. But
Nah.
then when you actually hear that, that most of what you saw in the movie itself was true, it's like, what?
I want to hear.
Serious, Trent? But yeah, I'll bring up Ike in a bit, Trent. But yeah, other than that though, that movie came out. It scarred me as well. Actually, saw the film once. I don't even know
Yeah,
if I'll see
yeah.
that again.
You know when people talk about black suffering movies that you can only watch once, this is one of them. I cannot watch this movie a second time.
Yeah,
Like
boy.
hell no, John. Like it up there with 12 Years a Slave now. Like
I
yeah,
know, right?
it's a great film, but like I can't watch this more than once, John.
Yeah, and even if you throw Tina herself singing that "I Don't Want to Fight" song, if I got the title wrong, forgive me, which was a big song. I remember that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually love the song, and I still do. Sorry, even that isn't enough for me to sit back to revisit that. Maybe when it hits its what will be like, what, 30th anniversary 2 years from now, maybe I could watch it and kind of
Maybe. Yeah.
see it like, oh, okay, this is what they were going for, this is where they kind of exaggerated at, but this is what the movie was meant to be about
Right,
and that
right.
kind of stuff, right? But I'll bring up the film later on. But yeah, I don't know. And then it was like later on I will learn about more of Tina Turner's music. Actually like found out after the fact that she was in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome,
Right, right. Yeah.
which was like, yeah, you know what I mean, just not
Yeah,
a favorite
yeah.
Mad Max movie of mine at all.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of
No,
forgettable.
no. Yeah, but the song, I mean, she was great in it. And
But
the
it's one
song,
of those. Yeah, it's
yeah,
one
it
of
was
those. It's
cool.
one of those movies. Yeah, the Mad Max 3 is one of those movies that not that good on its own, but learn to hype itself up through just the sheer hype and well, yeah. Once you have a soundtrack, you can't go wrong now. That
Yeah,
nothing like
exactly.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. It was literally Mad Max embracing the mid 80s, right? Because it was
yeah,
just all this pop music all of a sudden, but
yeah, yeah,
whatever, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and oh well, basically just to round things up, just later on you learn a lot about, her life and her career, and of course the stuff that she went through with Ike, right? And I would imagine for those watching this, they would be familiar with a majority of this. But for me, I just kind of knew little bits of info, right? But this one just kind of gives you this fully fleshed out, view of everything, right? Um, so yeah, as you would expect, it does start off with her meeting Ike for the first time, you know what I mean, and just them going on tour, them being that couple, you know what I mean, that singing couple,
Yeah.
Ike and Tina Turner, that the songs that they put out, all that kind of stuff, they cover that, right? But what they do is not so much narration, right? But they use a lot of archival,
Right.
audio, and video and visual footage and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just basically Tina herself through random interviews, just detailing the moments in her life, and then you'll have like other people show up, like a backup singer, or a backup dancer, or a producer. You know what I mean, showing up and saying, "Yeah, this is what went down." So, right? They would even throw in a couple of like interviews with Ike. There's even one that kind of like flipping the bird in front of my monitor while I was watching, because the man was like real contradicting himself. When is this 1991 interview basically, or 2001 I think it was, where he was asking, well, all this stuff with you beating up on Tina, is that true, right? And he was saying no. Well, basically what happens is that she took some sleeping pills, like she took the
Oh,
whole
God.
bottle, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
yeah, the carried she to the hospital, right?
was the was this fellow who got in trouble the other day with Megan with tree something? Brad
Oh gosh.
Gaslight nonsense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, is that Three Songs? Oh, sorry, Tory Lanez. Yeah,
Oh,
Tory
really?
Lanez.
Thank you. Yeah,
God, and he had the worst album of 2020, yeah, in my opinion. But anyway, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Barrel talk about, well, it's because, how we lifestyle was changing, and, she was trying to change herself to please me, but, you
Mm,
know, it
mm.
was the point that she wasn't being herself, and she was just kind of taking it out on herself, and all. I like,
Yeah, you could stop. You could
bro,
stop.
just,
Yeah,
just stop, Jen.
yeah, you
Just stop.
could. You're
Stop,
not,
stop, stop, stop.
you're not helping yourself.
Exactly. You can't say that she take a whole bottle of sleeping pills because she was trying to get your attention, bro. Like no, 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 right? But yeah, she does mention, well, what I love about the show here, first off, is that it's not all about Ike and Tina, right? Which I felt like the movie was about, right? She does mention the stuff that she went through, the pain and hurt, and of course, the abuse and all that kind of stuff. But it never lingers on it for too long. You get moments and you understand what's going on, right? And then you get like, one thing I actually swear I knew, but I kind of forgot, how she got into Buddhism, right? And how it
Right, right,
just
right,
kind
right.
of helped her, deal with it. And then through that, now she was just able to literally fight back, you know what I mean? Um, and then she details how that happened. I'm not going to see what happens then, but it happens, well, right after that incident I mentioned with the whole sleeping pills thing, right? So yeah, from there, of course, she divorced the man. She get to keep the name, you know what I mean, as I remember from the movie.
Right, right.
And then like I think it's from the early to mid 70s now, that's when she was just trying to build her career and reputation back. So she was just doing all these gigs in, Las Vegas and all that kind of stuff. And then this particular producer, this British producer, manager, sorry, Roger Davies found her, and then, well, and that's where, the stuff that we know from her, right? Especially the smash hit, What's Love Got to Do with It from '94. Well,
Yeah.
he was one of the people who kind of orchestrated that. So basically, it was like she started off with soul music, but because of how times were changing, she made a rocky but still a great, transition into rock
Yeah.
and pop, basically, right? And she was just able to bridge that gap. So that's why in the 80s her career just skyrocketed, though. But I love how the film touched on how difficult it was. Like, it really wasn't easy. It was just her betting on herself and all that kind of stuff, right? And she just did what she had to do. She literally put in work, though. And of course, as you would expect, as her career blew up now, there was the novel I, Tina, which the movie was based on, which I didn't even know Kurt Loder co-wrote. And yeah,
Kurt Loder, are you serious?
Yeah, he
Okay,
was
I know you
involved in
was
the book. I like,
okay. I did
really?
not know that. I didn't know you were so close to she.
I know, right? You just think
I was always
he's just the guy from he's just the
MTV
MTV
News.
guy for the 80s now, you
No,
know.
well, I just yeah, I just know him as MTV News senior editor type there, or whatever he was, right?
Yeah, like I didn't know that the man and like he literally he went out of his way to write the book, right? But yeah, and even have a great scene, typical, where you use cutaways of like, audio recorders and cassette tapes and stuff like that. But you're literally hearing Tina open up to Kurt, like literally
Right.
opening up to and open it up to sorry, and yeah, it's just a really, really powerful moment. But yeah, he was involved in the book there. I mean, I was like, oh, okay, shit, didn't know that. Um, and then, well, this kind of just running through the issue itself. So it's just stuff that I didn't even know. Of course, with the book being out now, and then they just jump into the movie itself. What's love got to do with it? So people's like, well, yeah, your story, your real life story, changed in our lives, right? But at the same time, it's the detriment of Tina because personal life there. Because like I just wanted to put that in the past now. So now you have this book and people just bringing up questions about Ike and what to think about Ike getting arrested for coke. And now you have this movie where you're seeing Lawrence Fishburne beating up on Angela and like what you think about the show, right? But it's a great moment. I think it's at the Venice Film Festival or something like that, where some reporter asks her, where you thought about the film? Have you seen it? And she's like, no, I haven't seen it because yeah, it's just gonna drudge up all these old memories that I just don't
Right.
want to remember. I'm sorry. So I have not seen the film. Of course, clearly she probably did see it at some point in time, but I just love that she was able to tell them at the premiere night of the show, no, I haven't seen the film, right? But when you're young, you would think, well, yeah, she was, some creative consultant or whatever, so she must have seen the show. She must have been able to say, hey, this is where they're right, this is where they're wrong, that kind of thing. But yeah,
Right.
he'll come and say, no, I haven't watched the film because it just cut too deep. Yeah, I love that. That makes sense now. Yeah, but that was great. But you really do see how just that really impacted her as well, right? And then yeah, just basically they just cut through to her meeting her now current husband. And yeah, it's just a really really beautiful moment near the end, and it comes right after a really gut wrenching that same moment that I mentioned with Kurt, where she's talking about like why she's had all these relationships, why she's never really felt love. There's even a great moment though where they mention her mom as well, who left, her, if you remember from the movie, at a very young age, and then all of a sudden, as her career blew up now, like Tina went all the way and bought a house for she mom and thing, and the mother, they still didn't love her. You know what I mean? So it's this thing about like why is it that I haven't even received the love I've always wanted, and this that question being answered well with her meeting her future husband. I thought that was just really really a great moment there. So yeah, I mean thoughts on the film itself. I kind of love this film as well. Um, this is one where I really got to see more of Tina, right? Because yeah, there was that one movie that we mentioned that scarred us. I think it's because of that we never really like remember certain things about her and all that kind of stuff. There. But while that film more touched on the relationship between her and Ike, this one went further. It showed her career in the 80s and 90s, how the book and movie impacted how her music and how the book and how the movie just impacted pop culture and all that kind of stuff, right? So it goes there, and I love the personal angle. You know what I mean? Just it being from Tina, of course, right? So it works there. Um, the interviews work as well. Even Shigel Oprah make a couple of appearances
Right.
as well
Right.
too. You know what I mean? Who else? Well, one person who was there, like this is something I didn't even know about. Maybe you know this woman. Katori Hall.
Very well. That's something.
All
Kind
right.
of.
So basically, she is the writer, I should say the creator of the Tina Turner musical.
Right.
Yeah. So which I didn't even know about till the show come out, right? But yeah, yeah, and it actually ends with her attending the first the debut performance, basically, right? But and yeah, she just kind of talks about how Tina was just able to just take back what was what Ike was taken from her, basically, right? emotionally, physically, financially, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right,
And
right,
just
right.
fight back basically. And yeah, you know what I mean? It just terms of just seeing this story play out, it is still a very inspirational story, still a very powerful story. It's one of those things that you kind of don't want to think about because of, the Ike stuff, but it still works, it still resonates, and yeah, it's just meant to inspire though. But as a whole, what the whole point of the show is, well, as they kind of hint at in the show, this is technically the final farewell. This is like just Tina taking a bow, just with telling her fans, thank you so much. But yeah, this is it. This is the end.
Yeah, right.
You're not gonna expect any music from me because I'm 81 right now.
Yeah,
I kind of just want to live all the rest of my life with my husband in Zurich, Switzerland. This is
yeah,
where she at right now. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
She just want to live the rest of her life out, and this is just that film to just to let the
Yeah,
world know.
she
Thank
makes you
you.
money. You
Right?
can't be mad. Yeah.
Exactly right. Like I have done so much. I am glad that you were inspired by me and continue to be inspired by me, and that's pretty much it. And here's just my life story, the way I want it to be shown, right? And I just love how the film just touches on the past, letting the past be the past, forgiveness, all that stuff. I mean, stuff that you'd expect out of stories like this, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, just for someone as larger than life than her, yeah, it just hits even harder. So yeah, rating wise, like 4.5 out of 5, man. I mean, it's that the don't go and expecting this thing to be some groundbreaking documentary, but really what makes it so special is the subject. It's Tina Turner. It's just the queen of rock and roll. Just who she is. I mean, and just the struggles that she went through in life, and yeah, how she was able to overcome it, make great art out of it, and yeah, just continue to inspire many people. You know what I mean? So I can't be mad at any of this. Right now, it's
Yeah.
on HBO, so definitely give this a look. This is one of my favorite docs of the year. So, and I mean, even if you don't care for documentaries, right, it's Tina Turner. I mean, come on, like at
Yeah.
least check it out to see what it is, because yeah, it is her, and I think that this show, just in closing, this show is that fitting farewell that she deserves. So, yeah, I mean, thank you for the years of music. Um, I mean, it came out of rough circumstances, but I mean, you just came out of it, you know what I mean, alive and well, and yeah, you will continue to inspire, other people. I mean, long after you're gone as well. So yeah,
Right.
definitely check this out, man. Hey, this is Matthew Bailey, and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of the BS Beats and Bailey podcast. If you'd like to hear the full episode, hit up my link tree. On the other side of my head are 2 videos you can check out. Like this video if you like it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell as well. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, take care, peace.